Good evening, all. Ira Epstein with your metal market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for Wednesday, and we're at the 16th of October, 2024, and the time right now getting on to 5:20 p.m. Central Time. So an interesting day. The stock market held up. We're giving back a little tonight, but it had a neat rally, and you hit a three-year high in the Russell cash market. When you're looking at the metal markets, you're giving back a little, but you were over the 2,700 level today in the gold market. Silver market's not willing to break that much, and the copper seems to have found its footing for the moment, at least, sitting here in the low 430s, where's the lows where it's uncovered, and it's holding. You're sort of waffling back and forth in the currency markets. Keep in the back of your mind, you're going to get the European Central Bank monetary announcement in the morning. And we saw some very weak numbers out of England today, probably setting them up for another very big series of cuts coming down the road here. Finally, things seem to be gelling where Canada, the United States, the European Central Union, and the Brits all coming together, and I think we're going to get rate cuts, a pretty big amount of them. I did a 5-minute journey on this on our website, so when you go to the front page at iraepstein.com, it should be there for you. So when we're looking at the gold, if you closed right here, let's assume we just finished out right now. This is an all-time high settlement close on a weekly basis. When we come to the chart here, you can see how the market keeps coming back up into this 2,700 level, fighting it. Now, the pattern is one of an inverted head and shoulder. A shoulder, another shoulder, and this is the head. And you'd pick that up and you'd say, if you flip it over, you probably get a count here from 2690 into the 26 and a quarter area, probably 2750. Reasonable count is something I'd look at. Obviously, I'm wrong if you take out these lows, but barring that, that's where I think the market is headed. Higher lows, higher highs on the pattern. Market holding very nicely the 18-day average, not giving that up at this point in time. The big number to get through, and it's going to be your resistance point, will be the upper Bollinger Band in the 2,700 level. Once you can overcome that in some manner, then I think over time you get up to that next count that we have there, and you are overbought. So am I saying get in right here, the market's going tomorrow before that? That's not what I said at all. What I said is basis this pattern, that's where I think the market is going. Now, before we go on too much further, tomorrow you're going to get the Philly Fed Business Index activity. That comes out at 7:30. You're going to get advanced retail sales at 7:30. Jobless claims at 7:30. It's going to be a busy morning. Federal Reserve at 8:15 is going to release their monthly industrial production and capacity utilization. National Association of Home Builders, we're going to get their numbers at 9. Business inventories for the U.S., that comes out at 9. Weekly petroleum stocks are going to come out at 10 o'clock, and we just had the API numbers this afternoon, and yet a slight reduction in all these categories, which gave that a little bit of a friendly tone. At least that's how I'm looking at the market. So when we come over to the gold-silver ratio, as I said yesterday, I thought this was going to fall back in here and fight a battle right now in the neighborhood of 84.34, and that's right what you're doing. Now, if you can settle under that, then silver's going to take leadership over gold to the upside. You can see silver's looking pretty good, and it has more room to run than gold. Gold is fighting up against its upper Bollinger Band already. This between here to the upper band is $1 an ounce, so that's quite a bit, from 31.77 roughly to 32.82. I still like what I'm seeing. I prefer the chart figure in the inverted head and shoulder in the gold, but there's nothing wrong with this, and I think you're seeing the pros reaching for the market now at 31.77. I hate the dollar risk. It's almost $1 an ounce, but I think the market is headed to that 32.82 level. In the copper market, well, what's weighing on silver more than it's weighing on gold is whatever copper does. And that's because at the end of the day, copper and silver are both really industrial metals. And you're coming down and you're counting on somewhere along the line here, China's going to open up and do something very positive to get demand to this market. Right now, you're in a downtrend. You're fighting for support at the 100-day average and you're oversold. If that gives ground, you could go to the 431 to 427 level in the market. The market that's been so far the strength of the market has been the platinum. It's in the uptrend pattern. It's held. It's fainted away. That means pulling back, faint like boxing, away a little bit here from getting to the upper Bollinger Band. It showed the strength. It just sort of ran out of it. It's not breaking. It's not railing. We'll see if it can do anything. If it does, 1031 is the next resistance point. And this is all happening in metals as the dollar continues to rally. And, one of the things the dollar is railing on is we're still debating here in the market trying to figure out, is the Fed going to really cut in November? Well, I think we have enough data coming up that we can make a decision with before we get to that point. You don't have to commit right now. What they're not going to do is raise interest rates. So the question is it 25 basis points as I see it or the other? Well, that puts it still in a question mark of strength versus the other currencies, which it looks to me like their inflation numbers are such they're all cutting. And I think the dollar wins off of that just as part of a currency trade. So that's where I think you're at. Want to remind you, go to our website, iraepstein.com. Take a look at the 5-minute video that I put up there for you. We call it a special report, 5-minute report. And I cover what I think is going to happen in interest rates between now and November 7th. I'm Ira Epstein. You have a good day. There'll be a special report. I'm trying to get one out to you. That's one of them that I did today. Now I have another one to do for tomorrow. Take care.